Om Sadashivasamārambhāṃ Shaṅkarācārya-madhyamāṃ Asmadācārya-paryantāṃ Vande Guru-paraṁparāṃ Shaṅkaram Shaṅkarācāryam Keshavam Bādarayanam Sutrabhāśya-krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sruti-smriti-purāṇānaṃ Ālayam Karuణālayam Namāmi Bhagavat-pāda Shaṅkaram Loka-shaṅkaram Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. Kshudvyādischa chikitsyataṃ pratidinam bhikṣauṣadam bhujyatāṃ svādvannam natu yācyatāṃ vidhivasāt prāptena santuṣyatāṃ shītoṣnādivishahiyyatāṃ natu vrutha vakyam samuccāryatāṃ audasenyamabhīpsyatāṃ janakrupa naishthuryamutsrujyatāṃ. So in the fourth verse, we saw already 6 pointers. That is 3 lines we saw. First 3 lines, 6 pointers to the seekers. And now the last line contains 2 more. General instructions for the spiritual seekers. And these are very essential. What are they? Bhagavan says, Audasinyamabhipsyatam. So, Udasinata abhipsyatam. One should desire or one should practice or one should be udasina. Udasina is generally translated as indifferent, being indifferent. The English word, it doesn't give proper understanding. Okay. In the right spirit, we should understand the word indifferent. Now, what is udasinata? Utasinata. Being seated above. Seated above. Now, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Udasina means what? Na kenachit paksham bhajate. He doesn't take any sides. In our life, when we live, we are constantly interacting with the people around, things and beings. We interact with the Vastu Prapancha, the insentient inert objects also we are looking at them. Interacting means we are looking at them and handling them, influenced by them. And we interact with sentient beings, human beings, of course animals also. Anyway, but whatever is happening around. So in this, while living life in this way, we are already being pulled to either of the sides. So one side or the other side, we are being pulled. Our mind gets pulled towards either this side or that side. Between the sides, 2 sides are there. So we are tempted or we are dragged to any one side in life. So we take a position. We support. We take a position. See, we take a position from dharma point of view. I'm not talking of that sense. We take sides. We become partial. That's the right word. We become partial. Partiality. Triggered by what? Triggered by my own affiliations, my own attachments, likes, etc. So I take some side. A spiritual seeker should not take any sides. When we take sides means what? We are taking, the 2 people are there, suppose. So 2 different minds are there, mindsets. Whichever mindset, my mind is tuned, so I am dragged towards that side. So I am not indifferent. I take one side and then hate the other or fight with the other or deny the other. very carefully we must study our own mind and how, because our own vasanas are there, tendencies are there. So they dictate. So by force or hook or crook, whatever it is, I take side. So now what is happening is to place ourselves above the happenings of the world, not influenced by them, is called remaining udasinata, without dragging down ourselves and taking any sides. It is called udasinata. And million things are happening around us. Every day, morning till evening, we find million things are happening. And million things, the news comes to us. WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or television, or even by hearing from others. See, in this communication, this is complicated communication world it is. So much of communication is going on. Information. It is actually banging us from all sides all the time. Socially, economically, politically. When you really observe this life, we are actually being bombarded with all kinds of posts and forwards. Or we are dragged into either this or that side. We get oriented or get leaned towards one thing. So in this word, the present times of fast communication, so many things are happening around me, and I am dragged to what is happening when I slip from that udasinata, staying above. I brought down myself. I am dragged. I was dragged into the cesspool of emotionals, and in the emotions, the pit of emotions, the web of emotions, I get caught up. So many things are happening around us. Quickly we come to conclusions. Quickly we judge. Quickly we project. Quickly we are influenced. Quickly our emotions get changed. Quickly we take sides. Very quickly, very fast, likes and dislikes attack us. So I am unable to stay above. Udasinata. It is called udasina. Think about it. So whenever I am dragged into these worldly things, affairs, I am not able to maintain the neutrality, neutral state, no partiality, absolutely neutral I am. Bhagavan is neutral. Krishna Bhagavan is very neutral. Name dveshyosti na priya. In that way, I am not operating from emotions. When we are operating from emotions, we are carried away or swept across by the currents of these, likes and dislikes, and then partiality, judgments, and supporting somebody, standing against someone, hating someone. Immediately we are dragged into that. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, can we maintain and practice udasinata? This is a very beautiful thing. Udasinata. So that means what? We should not get upset by the happenings around us. That is the key. And then only we can get tremendous clarity, and we can see what is happening in the world around. I am not dragged into the muddy nature of that conflict or emotions. I'm not overpowered by the emotions. I'm much standing so high. So these emotional waves, when they try to rise and catch me, they cannot reach me because I'm standing so high that these emotions are unable to catch me and bring me down and drag me down. That position I take. In spiritual position, that is, you can take it as at the stage of pure awareness, practicing awareness, Sakshi Bhava, otherwise. Whatever you call it, little sadhanas, little differentiation, doesn't matter. That's what Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says here. So, therefore, be indifferent. Be indifferent. Without losing, very important here, without losing kindness and compassion, love, without losing that. Being indifferent means what? Not being shrewd, not being heartless in our behavior. So I am different. Means what? Insensitive. That is not the udasinata. Udasinata means what? I am not affected by the happenings around, but my love, my compassion, my kindness, my help, all that is extended to the people around, wherever it is necessary. But at the same time, I am not colored by the happenings around. I am not painted. I am not affected. This is a beautiful sadhana. Otherwise, our love is a partial love. Our compassion is born out of vasanas and vasana affiliations. Some things I like, therefore I show compassion and love. They are mine, they are not mine. This is Maya. So when I divide me and mine and you and yours this way, me and mine, this is mine, this is me, this is mine, that is you, this is yours, and then that is hers or his. So without being influenced by happenings around, no emotion should touch me and disturb my peace of mind or balance. Yet I am very compassionate, be very sensitive always to the people around. Love is there, kindness is there, compassion is there, action is there, not reaction. We help, all that is fine. But internally I am guarded. Sometimes the loved ones die. I have compassion for the people around. I pray for the dead person, for his own sadgati or onward evolution. But I am not disturbed by them. So judge, doctor, teachers, and everywhere, in every work and walk of life, in everybody's life, this is absolutely necessary to practice. What is to be practiced is udasinata. This is what Bhagavan Shankaracharya says. So therefore, don't belong to any group and you take, I belong to one group, then you are all other than me, other groups are there, then I fight. No. Spiritual seeker is different. He should be udasina. He will respond. He will do what is required, but without colored by any emotions. Not through goggles of emotions, he will not look into the world. So therefore, audasinyam abhipsyata. Very beautiful thing. So many things are happening. What to do? Yes, I can do whatever we can do. I'm not disturbed, but I know I help. And everything I surrender to Lord. The Ishvara is running the show. The one Lord, mighty Lord, He knows everything, is all pervading. So I have no complaints. So He knows the best. It is His judgment. It is His law. But my law is, my dharma is what? To love, compassion, kindness. Everyone. That's what, Jesus said, hate the sin, but not the sinner. Hate the sin but not the sinner. Essentially, everyone is divine. So when I look from that dimension, I only help everyone. At the same time, not dragged into various kinds of web of emotions. This is the meaning of this, so beautiful, that surrender unto the Lord, do the best and leave the rest. Audasinyamadhipsyatam. This is the 31st instruction. While living in this life, we must be careful and guard ourselves always. And another one is what? Janakrupa naishturyam Janakrupa naishturyam utsrujyatam. This is a very beautiful thing. What is that? Gurudev translates as, save yourself from the meshes of other people's kindness. This we'll see very clearly. We'll see about this. Krupa, paraya, krupaya, avishtaha Bhagavan, when Arjuna says about it. Vishidantamidam uvacha, Sanjaya says. You're overpowered by pity, krupa. Here, there are two ways we should see this. One is Janakrupa, Naishturyam, cruelty. One is Nishturata, cruelty. Means out what Krupa means raga, cruelty means dislikes. So raga, dvesha, hatred. So the punchline is what? Punchline is what? Very clearly, do not, avoid raga dvesha towards others. Janakrupa nishturyam utsrujyatam. One meaning. Or, second is what? Ignore others' raga dvesha towards you. That's what Gurudev said here. Others' raga dvesha towards us, we should ignore. Now, here, very beautifully, Bhagavan Krishna says, what is my Janakrupa? Do not come under obligation of others. That's the meaning. Save yourself from the unwanted sympathies, obligation. Unwanted obligation, all obligation, any type of obligation. Do not come under anyone's obligation in life. And do not crave, beg for the sympathy and love from the world. You will not get it. You may not get it. Even if you get that kind of a love, it cannot be pure, uncontaminated love as that of the Guru or the Lord. Think. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam prayam bhavati. Upanishad says. So, it is for the sake of self alone, everything becomes dear. Big list comes there. For the sake of self only, husband becomes dear. For the sake of self alone, wife becomes dear to me. For the sake of self alone, such children become dear to me. For the sake of self alone, the property becomes dear to me. See, everything is become dear for the sake of self. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. So therefore, I should not beg, wait, stay upon, or look forward to the sympathy of others. This is the meshes of others' kindness. Avoid it. This is the punchline. This is value said. That means what? While dealing with people, when we are dealing with people, we must deal without offering any extra, special favors, etc. So Bhagavan Krishna says, Surun Mitra Yudasina madhyastadveshya bandhushu swadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. We are not influenced by others' obligation, measures of their kindness, and or we don't become the beggars of others' sympathy, etc. When we move in this world, Vidurji says, very beautiful sloka, Panchatvanugamisyanti yatra yatra gamishyasi mitranya mitra madhyastha upajivyopajivanaha. This is a beautiful thing. Panchatva anugamisyanti yatra yatra gamishyasi. Wherever we go, these 5 kinds of people always we find ourselves, these 5 kinds of people around us, always, wherever we are. And we come under their influence, the obligation. Who are they? Mitrani, wherever I go. Suppose I am transferred from one place to other place. I work in a company, I got transferred. So you go there. When the person goes there, new place, there also he finds 5 types of people. Immediately, some become his friends, Mitrani. And some become his enemies, Amitrani. See, Mitrani, Amitra. Some become neither friends nor enemies, Madhyastha. Some become neutral towards us. See how many kinds of people we meet. And Upajivi Upajivyanaha. And that means what? Those who offer refuge to me, that's one type of people. And those who take refuge in me. Meaning what? Some offer their refuge to me. Meaning I become dependent on them. They offer me their strength and support and shelter. Some people, wherever I go. And some people depend on me. They take refuge in me. So, some on whom I depend and some who depend on me. So, 5 kinds of people are there. And all these 5 types of people we come across wherever we go in our life. And we are always coming under various kinds of obligations with these people. A sannyasi is a one who ekaki yata chittatma. Bhagavan Krishna says. And brahmacharya vatastita. All those things. Ekaki yata chittatma. Ekaki means what? Is stand alone. Meaning alone, not lonely, alone. In lonely, their depression. Why they choose to be alone? They try to, they don't want any kind of obligation with this world. During that entire period of their spiritual journey, sadhana, intense sadhana, one Mahatma wrote in one of his books, a great yogi, Mahayogi, a Purna yogi, he said, in one of his previous incarnations, I believe, because they knew, Swami Vivekananda also knew his all past lives. Somebody asked, do you know your past lives? He said, yes, of course, I know all my past lives. Can you tell them? I said, I will not reveal. There is no need for that. He didn't reveal. This Mahatma says, one of my previous incarnations, as a monk only, he lived in one place in a mountain cave, it seems, far, far removed from the public. No human being he interacted with for 34 years. He was spending time alone. He never interacted with any person. And I believe next life he was asked, he was born again in a village or township, Then he, because of this solitude of what he lived, he said, for the first few years of my life, in the next life, I had to struggle to live with the people. He said. But he was a great yogi. So now he learned the art of being with the people, but not coming under their obligation. Loving everyone, taking care of everyone, but not coming under their obligation. This is the challenge. There's a book also has come, no? So don't say yes when you want to say no. Don't say yes. And so many people say, why didn't you come to that program of lecture or anything? So we have so many obligations. Grahastha also, the householder has so many obligations. Agreed. But even in the case of householder also, there are many who reduce their obligations in the society. They play their role, but they reduce so much to the great extent. Otherwise, every now and then any person can disturb us. We can come under obligation of anyone. Then we are dragged. We cannot do any sadhana. We can't withdraw. We are being dragged into the world under obligations. So raga dveshas are very important. That when we are dealing with the people outside, deal appropriately without being swayed by any giving special offers to others or carried away by special offers of obligations, etc. Without raga dvesha, dealing with them is absolutely necessary. So what is the rule here? Don't come under too much obligation of another person in life. And convey gently. Stick to your agenda of primary objective of the spiritual seeker is self-evolution, self-realization. That is the primary object. So this is a beautiful value where Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, don't come. So we other in a Gita also Suhrut, good-hearted, mitra, friend, udasina, the same. What Vidurji said, Bhagavan, the same thing, Gita and another for udasina, those who are udasina towards us, madhyastha, neutral, dveshya, bandhushu, some people who are hateful, bandh relations, sadhushu api, swapeshu, samabuddha vishishya. So how do we stay not coming under the obligation of people? How to remain? Number one, we must know what we want from this life. That clarity, what is that? The great master said, what are you doing with your life? That's a question. What are you doing with your life? Ultimately, when we leave the world, we came alone into this world. We leave the world alone. So, their friends and relatives and this and that, everyone, I forget after leaving the body. When I go into another birth, I forget everything. And those people who are there, who give send-off to us, they also forget us. Slowly memory fades. They become busy in their own life. Our death becomes only a passing news. Oh, he died on that day. Okay, that's it. When he died in that year. Okay, that's enough. As we talk about other dead ones, we are no more emotionally connected to them, is it not? So what happens ultimately is, what is that we have wanted to do in life? So first of all, objective, the spiritual objective if you keep. The spiritual seekers के लिए दिया है सब. So ultimately, to whom we want to prove? What is it we have to prove to the world? What is it we want to prove to the world? And to whomever we prove, they also die. The one who proves to them, that will also dies. I also die, they also die. So accept performing our duties in the world, obligatory duties, kartavya karma is there. So let us confine ourselves to only to that kartavya karma. Within that kartavya karma, don't put extra round of the chains and then one more round of chain around our feet. Don't tag extra. Don't put an extra round of chain around our legs. We must understand. We must do our obligatory duties. That too, without Bhagavan Krishna, without any expectation of fruits and return. So when we are trying to exhaust our vasanas or karmas by performing them diligently without expecting the results or anything in return, then my mind becomes purer and purer, because I become lighter and lighter within. Now I am bogged down by so many responsibilities, karma, so I get reduced. All those things gets reduced. So instead of reducing the burden in life, when every one burden I've reduced, in its place I'm adding 3 or 4 more extra burdens. So within the obligatory duties only, when we perform, we are unknowingly adding ourselves, coming under obligations, extra responsibilities, extra things. That this we have to be very cautious. So when we are very clarity of life, when we get, we will not get trapped in this mesh. The first is be aware of your goal. Second thing is what? Second thing is that I must be very conscious of the fact that I am born only as a spiritual seeker, only to awaken myself to the truth. To the extent possible, I will complete my journey. As much as I can do, as long as I can travel, as much as I can travel distance-wise, as much as I can cover, I will continue my journey towards that spiritual goal. So that is primary. Not get bogged down by many obligations and worries and anxieties and all that. All these things while fulfilling my responsibilities towards society and the family. Guarding myself from extra things, and not swayed by or coming under the obligations of or others, the measures of their kindness. If I can protect myself, then my spiritual journey as a seeker, it can go on without any difficulties. Therefore, Janakrupa Naishturyam Utsrujyata. Free yourself from all kinds of obligations. Remove all the clouds. Drive away the clouds. Don't come under each obligation is a cloud, thick cloud covering us. So if you can know this and live like this, love without attachment, fulfill responsibilities without expecting any results. If you can do this way, we are marching towards the goal in a more beautiful way. So this is what in these 2 values we have learned today. Audasinyam abhipsatam janakrupa naishturyam utsrujyata. These 2 are interconnected. Each one is. These 2 values we saw today. With this, we have completed 4th verse of Sadhana Panchakam. So one more verse is there, 5th verse, that we will see. We'll start in next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you all. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.